Good morning. Welcome to CES 2025. We are here with IMC and I have a very interesting guest to talk to us today. My name is Renal Paramel. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Strategy of Things. We're an innovation consulting firm focused on emerging technologies like IoT and AI. And we have our guest here, Jim Hassman from Blues. He's the president of Blues and we welcome here.
Thank you.
We are very excited to hear about Blues and what Blues is going to be doing in the space of AI and IoT out here. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Would you like to give us a quick background about what Blues does and what you do at Blues?
Sure. Jim Hassman, President and Chief Revenue Officer of Blues. Blues is in the space of embedded intelligence, and that means basically helping product manufacturers, product makers embed an embeddable agent into their product that seamlessly connects that product to the cloud and allows them to actually create value for their end application seamlessly with very, very little engineering.
Very nice. So tell us a little bit more about Blues and AI. What are you doing in the space of AI and how is Blues taking advantage of AI to support your products and services?
Blues started out as a hardware and software company. It was founded by Ray Ozzie, who's a legend in the space. If you know who Ray is, he was the founder and creator of Lotus Notes that IBM purchased, and then he went to Microsoft, became the chief architect at Microsoft, built Microsoft Azure. So his pedigree and tenure as an architect is as good as it gets. And he stumbled on this project of Blues of watching what IoT was attempting to do was help people connect things, seamlessly over the internet. The problem is the internet is not all that secure, as we know. And so Ray had a very different type of architecture that didn't start with AI. It actually started with making it easy for someone to connect any physical product to the cloud. And at Blues, our mission is turn every physical asset or every physical product into an intelligent service. Well, that intelligence only happens with data. And with data, you can only get AI if you have data. So we've unlocked, the first unlock that we did was creating data streams, basically off of connected devices. Step two was actually allowing them to embed intelligence into the devices. And most companies are not at the size and scale where they can hire lots of data scientists. If you're a $30 billion company, sure, you can do that. But if you're a small and medium business, you need a fully seamlessly integrated hardware, software, services, and intelligence stack to do that. So that's what Blues is doing.
Very nice. How do you see this new kind of adoption of AI changing the SaaS model?
Yeah.
We're hearing a lot of AI disrupting SaaS. What do you think about that?
Let's talk about SaaS for 1 second. Where did SaaS come from? SaaS came from the evolution of what was formerly enterprise software that you delivered on a disk. Somebody would download it into a server, right? And then you'd have an army of IT people that would manage these servers across your network and infrastructure. Well, again, the small and medium business guys couldn't do that. And really the first company that kind of cracked this wide open was Salesforce. And they didn't start selling to enterprises, they started selling to the small and medium business guys, and that's where the SaaS model came from. So if you think of the hardware, software, services, and intelligence layer, that has to be as easy in its adoption as SaaS was when SaaS came out. So some people say SaaS is dead. I like to say that the new model of embedded intelligence is the next evolution of SaaS. And obviously Blues is a SaaS company, but we're providing the intelligence along with the hardware, the firmware, the software, the entire layer is one seamless, cohesive product that you pay a usage fee for. So it uses a SaaS model, but it's not just SaaS, it's kind of everything.
I see. So how do you think this whole new wave of AI adoption is going to impact developers, operators, customers in your space?
It changes everything. And specifically GenAI changes everything. I mean, the initial evolution of AI as we got into 2013, 14, and 15, I was at a very interesting company that is doing quite well called C3 AI. We were really focused on enterprise AI workloads, and predominantly we're using machine learning and deep learning to solve those problems. Well, along comes this new frontier of what we now call GenAI, large language models, large action models. And Blues is taking that type of approach, but adopting it into this connected product space. So that you buy a piece of hardware, which I actually have the hardware right here, I'll show you.
Oh, wow.
This is the embedded agent that a customer uses from Blues. This is the starting point. They put this new product, there's very little code at all, firmware is baked in, any sensors, you send data to the cloud, and then on top of that, you are able to basically build the next version of the human user interface is a GenAI user interface. And so you don't have to be a data scientist, from MIT to solve a business problem anymore or create business value. You just have to be able to interact with this GenAI front end. And so that's kind of what Blues is that entire stack. So for us, we believe that GenAI specifically changes everything about what the connected product space was attempting to do.
Fantastic. Now that you've spoken about GenAI, what do you think GenAI single-handedly is changing in the landscape of IoT and streaming data and all these operational data that was locked out there that we were not able to do anything with it?
I think if we're honest with ourselves, we would say it hasn't changed much yet. It hasn't changed much yet. Because I think a lot of the people that are in the IoT space are worried about modems, they're worried about SIMs, carrier plans, security, firmware, and those entities themselves, while they might be dabbling with GenAI as a hobby or even at home, it's not baked into their infrastructure stacks. So I think we're like on baby step number one here. And Blues is the right type of company to try to help solve this. It is the next frontier for Blues. I will give you one example of a customer that is here at CES. It's a company called Clarios. They were a spin out of Johnson Controls, and they make automotive batteries. They're the largest automotive battery manufacturer on planet Earth. One in every three vehicles in the world has a Clarios branded battery inside the vehicle. And they're basically embedding this agent into a harness that connects to the batteries so they don't have to go through the vehicle manufacturers' OEM systems. They get the data themselves, and for like a long haul truck fleet operator, they can tell that trucker when to run the truck on pure battery when it's idling versus diesel power, which is saving diesel, reducing emissions,
correct,
saving wear and tear on these long haul trucks. But they're also doing battery monitoring for preventative maintenance and that type of thing, but the real value is idle time optimization, and they are here, and they are an example of using AI through this embedded agent.
I see. So I also read that Blues is trying to distance itself from the traditional IoT kind of branding and trying to position itself in a more intelligent AI kind of a company. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, there's not quite a word that describes Blues, but we are trying to distance ourselves from IoT for one reason. We believe that it used to be M to M, right? Machine to machine, and then this term IoT came out. IoT actually got it wrong twice, okay? The first thing that happened in IoT was you had all these large companies like Microsoft and AWS and GE and everybody that were saying, we're going to build a platform that does everything. Okay, every one of those IoT platforms has folded. They no longer exist. And if there is a crew managing it, is a skeleton crew inside those companies. So the build it all and everybody will come, or they may come someday, it just didn't pan out. The second thing the IoT got wrong was they underestimated the massive amount of complexity of both the hardware to the firmware to the cloudware to the software stack, and so they would focus on little bits and pieces of it. So you had thousands of companies, that were doing little pieces. It was still up to engineers to try to put this together. And the Internet of Things, this embedded agent right here doesn't even run on the internet. It runs off the public internet. So we just don't believe we are a traditional IoT company, especially where we're focused on the value creation with GenAI on the front end as our next frontier.
Fantastic. Any last minute thoughts that you would like to share with our viewers on what they should be doing if they're still trying to figure out whether they should use GenAI capabilities or not?
It's the future. I mean, I would say everybody, regardless of what you do, it's accessible to everybody. GenAI is accessible to everybody, and you don't have to be an engineer to use it. So my recommendation is to go to OpenAI, ChatGPT, start playing around with it. There are some really cool things that you can do with it. Blues is embedding it into their stack, and it's going to be a new attached service on top of what we're doing for our customers. So, the sky's not the limit anymore, actually. There's a lot you can do, and I would just say just go explore, educate yourself.
Fantastic. It's been amazing talking to you, Jim. Thank you for sharing so much about Blues and your journey out here. Thank you, everyone.
Absolutely, thank you.